We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Well, the reemergence of Justin Upton has certainly given the Tigers offense a big boost in his last 9 games, a .353 clip with 5 home runs, including the game tire last night. Another great night for baseball tonight. Upton and the Tigers taking on the Chicago White Sox. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen. We are glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. Big win last night for the Tigers. And, of course, Justin Upton had the huge home run, Ron. I think it got on about 3.5 seconds. If you blinked, you might have missed it.
Well, you would have missed it if you did blink last night, because that's exactly how fast it did get out of the yard. Think about that, people. From the time it made contact with his bat until the time it got over that wall in left field, 3.5 seconds. It had to leave his bat at about 110 miles per hour, but I just love what he's been doing lately. His assault on fastballs inside to the pull field have been absolutely lethal. Let's hope he continues to do it.
All right, now the Tigers have been really happy with their young pitchers this year. They've all done very well, and of course Daniel Norris will take the mound tonight. In his last 4, he's been really good.
I absolutely love his skill set, partner. As a matter of fact, 2 starts ago when he went up against the Boston Red Sox, he probably had the best stuff I've seen out of Daniel Norris. Fastball got up to 95 in that particular outing. He threw fastballs right by Bradley Jr. He also threw a changeup that about twisted Hanley in the ground. He also had some very good starts in his last 4. 21 innings and 2/3. The ERA is under 3. 13 punch-outs, 8 base on balls. The whole thing with Daniel Norris, and we'll point it out today, is the fact that he's got to smooth out that delivery. And once he smooths that delivery out, he'll throw balls at the bottom of the strike zone, and he'll be even better.
And hopefully that'll be the case again here tonight. Tigers and the White Sox, Game 2 in the series. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with Johnny Kane. One thing is for certain, these two teams have played some entertaining games this year. Half of them have been decided by 2 runs or less. We'll see what happens tonight. Tigers, Sox, Game 2 next. Tigers and White Sox square off in game 2 in this series, and Daniel Norris on the mound for the Tigers tonight. He is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, we gave you the numbers on Daniel Norris in his last 4 starts. The earned run average is just a shade under 3. He gets it done with a fastball that will top out at 95. He also has a slider. He's got a curveball and a changeup, and he will use all 4 of those pitches to the left-handers and to the right-handed batters.
And so the Tigers try and make it 2 straight in this series. They win last night in dramatic fashion as Adam Eaton leads it off here in game 2. It'll be Eaton at 274 stepping in. Tigers able to control him for the most part last night. Was 0 for 4 in the opener, and he looks at ball 1. Another nice night for baseball here in the Motor City. Tigers starting to wind down this homestand as Eaton fouls it back at the count now. 1 ball and 1 strike. Eaton with 11 homers this year. He's on pace for 14, which would equal his career high. He established that last year. Here's the 1-1. Awkward swing there, 1-2.
Outstanding pitch there by Daniel Norris. Away from his arm side on the black outside at about 88 miles an hour, and a very awkward swing by Eaton. Daniel Norris is working awfully quick here tonight, buddy.
It's good to see. That ball fouls straight back. The rest of the lineup for the Sox presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Anderson and Melky Cabrera to follow him. Jose Abreu has been on base 25 straight now. He's followed by Morneau and Frazier, and their bottom 3 is Garcia, Narvaez, and Saladino. 1-2 is inside. He checked his swing and did not go, says Lance Barksdale. 2-2. Lights are on here at the ballpark. A little bit cloudy, a little bit overcast tonight. There's one that straightened him up, and the count fills now. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
He had no problem throwing that fastball down and away from Eaton, but on the last 2 offerings to Eaton, he has gone inside with 4-seam fastballs, 1 at 93, 1 at 94, and he has missed on both of those fastballs.
And Eaton hits one in the air, foul, third base side. Jacoby Jones runs out of room. First big league start for Jacoby Jones, who is called up today from AAA, starting at third base for the Tigers.
He looks good in that big league uniform, doesn't he?
He looks the part.
6'2", 205 pounds from Oklahoma.
Chickasha, Oklahoma. Only 24 years old. Eaton fouls off another back out of play.
It's been a good at bat so far for Eaton, but he's been a pest. And to the Tigers all season long, he's already seen 8 pitches from Daniel Norris.
Henderson to follow, and then Melky Cabrera in the first inning. Again, the 3-2. And he lost it, ball 4.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense. It's presented by Beaumont Health. Left to right in the outfield, you've got Upton. You've got Collins in center field tonight. JD Martinez, he's anchored over in right. Iglesias, Kinsler up the middle. Jacoby Jones at third base making his major league debut. Miggy on the other side of the diamond. And SALTALAMACCHIA with a huge home run last night, back behind the dish tonight.
Here is Tim Anderson with the leadoff man on. Eaton with 12 steals this year. Anderson, awkward swing, 0-1.
That's exactly what the Tigers did to Anderson last night. Lots of fastballs up in the strike zone, and then they would bury breaking balls at the bottom of the zone.
2 out of 5 last night for Anderson. Couple of hits, both singles. And now Norris will step off.
Eaton has 12 steals. He's been caught 4 times, but Norris being left-handed, that should slow Eaton down just a bit. He should not get a good jump against the left-hander Daniel Norris.
Anderson looks at a ball that just missed, and the count now is 1 ball and 1 strike. Tim Anderson has hit safely in 19 of his last 21 ball games, was called up from AAA in the middle of June, and has really more than held his own at the major league level. That'll miss inside, 2-1. White Sox had Alexei Ramirez manning their shortstop position for many years, 7 or 8 years. Now Anderson appears to be the heir apparent. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Strike called by Angel Hernandez behind the dish.
That was a changeup there. And a nice call there by SALTALAMACCHIA. He's having a difficult time commanding the fastball. He had a difficult time with the breaking ball. So why not go to the changeup, even though it was up in the strike zone? It's a field pitch, and I love that call by SALTALAMACCHIA.
Eaton led the ball game off with a walk. White Sox and Tigers going at it here. The Tigers 4.5 back in the Central. White Sox already thinking about next year after getting off to a red-hot start this season. Bounce slowly back toward the mound. Norris will think about second. Nobody there, and so he'll get the out at first.
And one of the things that we do know about Daniel Norris, he is very good at fielding in position. He grabs this ball, he takes one look at second base, then he thinks, oh no, this is going to be a very difficult play. I don't want to force the issue. Let's just take the sure out, which he did, and he made a wise decision.
Eaton now in scoring position, and Melky Cabrera will stand in. Cabrera made the final out of last night's game, but he hit a ball to the wall in right center field. That's nubbed off the end of the bat foul, 0-1.
Let's take one more look at the Daniel Norris play. You have to anticipate when the ball is hit to you with your feet. Watch him when he fields this ball. Once he grabs it in his glove, his feet are already turned towards second base. He's anticipating going to second, which would have taken very little time for him to get the ball to second had he had a play there. So that's just a really nice job of getting your feet in the proper position to make the plays that you need to make.
Swing and a miss, 0-2 on Cabrera. Well, one thing we know about Daniel, Ron, is the fact that he's a really good athlete. You remember that play he made in Baltimore, his first start last year, a diving play on a bunt.
I do remember that play.
Well, he's not afraid to help himself out with his defensive abilities.
Got a little sock in that bat too. Home run in Chicago last year.
Wrigley Field.
Right.
Runner goes to third, is swinging a high fly ball to left. Eaton's going to have to turn around, head back to second base. They had him on the move, 2 gone.
How about Jay Up on this play? I mean, it is kind of tough to see at this particular time here at Comerica Park, and he was deking Eaton, who was on the run from third base, and he didn't see the ball. Look at both hands go up. He's trying to tell the base runner, I don't see it. And then Eaton, who was running, said, no, 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 no. Not on my watch, Mr. Upton. No, 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 no. He gave him the Usain Bolt finger.
That's funny. JF said, well, it's worth a shot. Now Abreu with 2 outs, and he'll look at ball 1.
Well, he's got a base open for Abreu, in my opinion. It's the very first inning. And Mario, you talked about the fact that this cat's been on base in 25 straight games. You got 2 outs, and the guy in the on-deck circle is not as dangerous as Abreu is.
Justin Morneau, the left-hander, waiting on deck. And Abreu looks at a strike. 1-1 the count on the Sox first baseman, 2 out of 4 with a double in the ball game last night.
So if you're going to decide to pitch to Abreu in this particular situation, when you've got the base open, you've got to make sure you make the pitches that you need to make to get him out.
It'll dive inside, 2-1.
95 with that last fastball. That's why I love Norris' skill set, Mario, and I think he's going to be very valuable down the stretch. He hasn't pitched that many innings this year in the big leagues, which means there has not been a lot of stress on the arm.
He started the year on the disabled list. 2-1 is swung on and missed, and Abreu left the strike zone. 94 up at the letters, 2-2. There's Morneau on deck. White Sox this year have had trouble scoring runs. Only 2 teams have scored fewer runs. They've got a first inning chance here tonight. High towering fly ball to center field. Tyler Collins cruising over, and that is that for Chicago. No runs, a walk, 1 man left. At the ballpark, Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Kinsler, Collins, Cabrera on the top 3 spots. No Cam Maven tonight. Victor Martinez, JD Martinez, then Justin Upton, Saltalamacchia, Jones, Iglesias. Rounding it out for the Tigers, and they are facing the left-handed slants of Anthony Renato.
And Renato's got a big arm. As a matter of fact, his fastball will get all the way up to 95, 96. He also has a curveball that he will throw about 38% of the time. He's got a slider. He also has a changeup, and he will throw the changeup to the left-handers and to the right-handed batters.
And if he was pitching left-handed tonight, it'd be a problem. He's actually, as you can see, a right-hander. The first one is up high to Ian Kinsler.
Did you call him a left-hander?
I called him a left-hander. He's 6'7", 240. I know that's a fact.
He's a big one.
Freehold, New Jersey is the hometown of the right-hander, Renato. Bouncing ball foul right by Dave Clark.
And the scouting report on him is that he will leave a lot of fastballs up in the strike zone. Once he gets ahead of you, he will go to that big curveball that he has, and that's pitch that he also loves to throw when he's faced in a traffic jam. That big curveball.
Swing and a miss.
There it was, but that one didn't break all that much. Kind of stayed up there in a good hitting zone for Ian, but Ian swung right through it.
Renato was acquired from the Rangers in May for pitcher Matt Ball. Here's the 1-2. Here's that breaking ball popped up foul. This will get back into the dugout area. The Bernstein advantage brings you the matchup here. Last 12 against the Chicago White Sox for Ian Kinsler. 346, pretty good.
Ooh, somebody might just take him as player of the game here tonight.
Uh-oh, well, not so fast. We haven't gotten to the promo yet. 1-2. There's a ball low, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Kinsler. Couple of walks in the ball game last night for Ian. Tyler Collins waiting on deck. Here's the 2-2. Popped him up behind home plate. Narvaez under it, and Ian is out of there. 1 gone. Well, ask and you shall receive. Stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. We'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites now being served all day. What do you got?
Victor Martinez.
Ooh, I thought you were going to go. You see, you just saw him pop up.
I did.
And now you backed off.
Well, I mean, you know, I got Victor.
Oh, you got Victor? All right. I will go with. You're going to like this one.
Who is he going with?
I'm going with Jacoby Jones.
Oh, that's nice.
In his big league debut.
That is nice.
Here is Tyler Collins. And he'll look at a ball low. We're still awaiting the Trucks decision. They're deliberating as we speak. Or probably more accurately arguing right now.
That's probably the way it is.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Bouncing ball slowly right side. It's going to be fielded by Renato. And he'll toss for the out.
Let's take a look at the Chicago White Sox starting defense. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons. Ramirez, Eaton, Garcia in the outfield. Anderson, Saladino up the middle. Frazier, Abreu on the corner. And Narvaez is the catcher here this evening. The former Tiger, Alex Avila, was the catcher in last night's contest.
The Truck has informed me they're going with JD Martinez because he's been so hot in the month of August.
Okay.
So they're going to stay with him. Here is Miguel Cabrera. And Miggy hammers one to right field. It is slicing back toward the corner, out of play. Cabrera is 0 for 2, but he did walk last night and drove in a run with a sac fly.
That was a really nice inning for the Tigers. I believe it was the 3rd inning. Ibar got himself a base hit. Perfectly executed hit and run by Kinsler. And then you had that sacrifice fly to the outfield for Miggy.
Chopper deep in the hole. It's short. Anderson, silky smooth play to throw him out.
Off balance throw too with a lot of arm strength.
1, 2, 3. Go the Tigers. In a scoreless ball game, we go to the second. It'll be Justin Morneau, Todd Frazier, AVISAIL, GARCIA against the Tigers lefty. And Morneau looks at a strike on the outer edge. Hitless in the ball game last night, did score a run, batting .269 for Chicago. That's up and in, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Daniel having a difficult time with the fastball inside to the left-handers so far. That's the 3rd time he's trying to go inside with a fastball, 4-seam variety, and he's missed arm side badly inside.
Just looking at some of the numbers, Rod, and he has gotten better in this respect. The numbers are coming down, but lefties are still batting .316 against him.
Yeah, just needs to work on that breaking ball. It's a touch and field pitch to get it down and away from the left-handed bats, and also being able to execute the fastball inside successfully.
Morneau slicing one to left. That'll be a base hit. Taking a wide turn and holding up with a leadoff single. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Find your summer of performance with great deals at the Jeep Summer Clearance Event. And by Kroger. Here is Todd Frazier now with the leadoff single. Morneau has given the White Sox a base runner. Frazier a swing and a miss. Well, Frazier this year has not had a good season in terms of batting average, but the power number is pretty good. 32 homers, 5th in the American League. And for a while there, he was leading the AL. Strike call.
Let's take one more look at the base hit by Morneau. Here's the breaking ball that we're talking about. It's just spinning up there with 2 strikes, and the left-handed batter can simply put that ball in play as Morneau does. He's seen a lot of hanging breaking balls in his career. That's the pitch. Daniel needs to get a little bit more consistent with burying that ball away from the lefties, especially with 2 strikes.
Well, we gave you the numbers, .316 against lefties, and another base hit to that total.
That last pitch just did not appear that it was thrown with a whole lot of conviction.
Now the 1-2, and it's low. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Frazier. Todd Frazier has not done a whole lot of damage this year against the Tigers.
Here's a much better breaking ball, Mario, whether it's a right-hander or a left-hander. Look at him get on top of this. Much more conviction, much more spin on this ball down at the bottom of the strike zone. Much more effective pitch, even though he didn't get the strike on it.
Driven deep to left field. That ball is up and it's going to go. It's gone, a home run.
Oh, he threw one right in his happy zone.
He went up halfway up the seats and left, and Frazier has just hit his 33rd of the year. And so much for struggling against Tigers pitching this year. He came in batting just .130 against the Tigers this season. That'll give Chicago an early lead in this one.
Well, we told you that Frazier, his nickname is the Todd Father. He is a dead pull hitter. All of his damage is to the pull field. It's a fastball at about 93 miles an hour that kind of leaked back over the plate. And this is where Frazier has done a lot of damage in his big league career.
Everybody in the ballpark knew that one was gone way back. Garcia fouls it back out of play. Frazier now with 83 driven in and a little dance to boot. Still trailing Mark Trumbo, who leads the American League with 40 round trippers.
Why are we not mentioning Trumbo's name in the MVP conversation? Because he has not gotten into the conversation yet. Any reason why that you can think of?
You know what? I was thinking about the very same thing last night when we were talking about Trumbo and all the home runs he has hit.
We talk about Altuve, we talk about Betts, we talk about David Ortiz, Donaldson. There's a lot of guys we talk about, but we haven't mentioned Trumbo's name until tonight.
Really, I think when you look at where he falls, most of the power numbers, he's pretty good. Homers, RBIs, middle of the pack, and homers in the top 10. And I mean RBIs in the top 10. Garcia is out at first base.
That is the first play in the major leagues by the youngster Jacoby Jones.
Garcia can bring it down the line, made it close.
He showed some arm strength here as well. He's a big body guy. That would be Jones. He's 6'5". He's a shortstop by trade, so he shouldn't have no problem playing that position. Straight over the top. Firm throw across the diamond.
And a little help from Cabrera on the backhand pick. So Jacoby's gotten that first one out of the way. Narvaez, the catcher, stands in, looks at a strike, 0-1. 310 batting average. He's done pretty well with the bat. A career minor leaguer until this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two-run homer by Todd Frazier, giving the White Sox an early lead in this one. Up and in. 2-1. Norris threw 22 pitches in that first inning. Three balls, 1 strike now on Narvaez. Waiting on deck is Saladino, and he did a lot of damage last night. Up and in again. He walked him, ball 4. It'll be the second walk of the ball game now for Norris. We'll go to every Tigers home game in September for just $84. The September digital ballpark pass. That's 14 games for just $84. To order your September ballpark pass, visit tigers.com/pass. Norris now is at the 40 plateau. Saladino had 3 RBIs last night. He homered in the ball game, and for a while it looked like it might be the game-winning hit. Solo shot to lead off the 7th. He'll drive this one toward left center field. That ball is going to get down. Cut off by Collins. On his way to third is Narvaez. Throw to second, not in time. That'll be a double for Saladino. Third hit of the inning now for the White Sox. It'll bring out Rich Doobie. Saladino having himself a series so far.
Yeah, he drove in all 3 of their runs last night. Got himself a fastball that was right down the middle, and he's been hunting fastballs the last couple of nights. Puts a real nice swing on it, and Tyler Collins was able to get over and cut it off.
Doobie chased out of there now by Angel Hernandez. So we'll see if Norris can pitch out of further trouble. Second and third, 1 out. Eaton had a walk in the first inning.
He's really had no trouble throwing strikes to the right-handed batters, but he's had a difficult time of throwing strikes to the left-handers here so far tonight. He has 2 walks, and both of the walks have come to left-handed batters.
Flared foul back out of play. Pretty good one in that last start, and we say that because Norris, who typically has gone about 5 innings and that's it, pitched into the 7th in his last start against the Twins.
And the key is that he didn't walk anybody in that start. Had 5 strikeouts, did not walk 1 batter.
Now the 0-1. Eaton leads the American League in triples. He's also first in infield hits. Little bouncer to the second baseman. Kinsler gobbles it up. He'll get a run in as Eaton gets an RBI. Scoring on the play is Narvaez. 2 gone, but a 3-0 Chicago lead. 46th RBI for Eaton. It'll bring up Tim Anderson. Ball 1 to Anderson. That'll dive in for a strike. 1-1 on the White Sox shortstop.
And be careful if you decide to throw Anderson a fastball. You don't want to get too much plate with it. And we've talked about the fact that he's a good fastball hitter, very quick hands. Fastball upstairs. Anderson may have helped him out. Yeah, but if he's going to swing at it, go right back up there.
A 1-2 swing and a miss. He went right back up there and got him on strikes. 3-run inning though for Chicago, and we'll go to the bottom of the second. Brings you the big money encounter. The Chicago White Sox in their last 9 games in this ballpark, well, quite honestly, not that good. They're 1-8 here.
Well, take a look at their ERA. It is over 6, and the Tigers are hitting better than 300 against White Sox pitching here at Comerica Park, and they've hit 11 homers.
Well, the Tigers went 1-2-3 against Anthony Renato in the first inning as Victor leads it off here in the second.
And we told you earlier that Renato will make a lot of mistakes with the fastball up in the strike zone. I don't think he does it by design. I just think he misses up in that area.
Victor at 303 on the year. Looks at a strike on the outer edge. 1-1.
Victor having a solid season as we take a look at the shift on Victor. And that's the way that most teams play him. They bunch him to the right side of the baseball field. But Victor has absolutely worn out White Sox pitching since he put on a big league uniform. And whether he's batting left-handed Mario or right-handed, he has used the entire baseball field against them, and that's why his batting average is closing in on 400 against them.
Here's the 1-2. A high fly ball, right field, hit pretty deep. Garcia going back, and now it's going to be the center fielder Eaton to step in to make the play. 1 out. That'll bring up JD Martinez. Renato was recalled from AAA Charlotte on August 17th. He was 7-6 with a good ERA, 3.19 in the minors. And now JD batting .315. Strike 1 on Martinez. Now, Saltalamacchia had the big home run last night in the 8th, but it was Martinez that led it off with a walk. He'll drive this one to the gap in left center field. That's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Extra bases for Martinez. He will pull into second, with a 1-out double.
It's the 29th double of the season for JD Martinez. Here's a slider that did not slide very much. It had very little depth to it. It basically went east to west in the strike zone, and JD Martinez jumped all over it. He was thinking 2 out of the batter's box, and he was able to get there safely without a slide.
Here is Upton.
The Tigers can get 2 runs back in a hurry the way that Upton's been swinging the bat the last 9 days.
J.L. homered in the ball game last night, his 18th. It was a solo shot. Led off the 6th inning, which tied the game at that point. Here's the 1-0. Had a good rip there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the Chevy Silverado most dependable players. Talk about JD Martinez staying hot. 392 this month. The Brave was on that list as well at 361.
Also Gary Sanchez of the New York Yankees, Dustin Pedroia, and Mookie Betts. Did you see where Pedroia had 11 straight hits?
I did.
Earlier that last week, 11 at plate appearances and 11 hits in a row.
1 and 2 on Upton. Pedroia, when we saw him with the Red Sox the second time around, was kind of having a quiet year by his standards, but we know that he is a championship type player. Mookie Betts having a great year. Renato here trying to navigate around Upton with a man in scoring position. Bouncing ball to short. Anderson has it there. Upton is out, 2 away. Anderson says, my bad. Threw that one low, but he got helped out there by Abreu. SALTALAMACCHIA stands in.
And he gets a real nice round of applause, and well deserved, for that big home run he hit last night. It was his 12th home run of the year.
Salty batting just 192 this year, but there is something to be said about clutch hits, and he's had so many this season.
His damage in the 7th inning or later this year has simply been off the chain.
One ball, no strikes on the Tigers catcher. Well, we saw the home run last night, but also the pinch hit home run he had against Chicago in Chicago earlier this year. He's gotten them twice in big spots. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Funny because guys that throw 97, 98, they don't really seem to intimidate a lot of the Tigers hitters. Jones came in last night throwing 98, and SALTALAMACCHIA hit one to the moon.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. And Tigers hitters love to feast on fastballs, especially Victor Martinez. His batting average is one of the highest in all of baseball on fastballs, 94 miles an hour and above.
Well, that one was pretty close. Looked like it caught the inside corner, but not so, says Angel Hernandez.
It was a swing back fastball there thrown by Renato, and Angel Hernandez did not give him the call, but it looked like a strike.
Playing the shift on against SALTALAMACCHIA, the second baseman Saladino deep to the grass. Now the 2-1. 2-2 on Salty.
Here's the Magic Moonshot, and it's presented by Magic Window. It happened in the 8th inning last night against Nate Jones. He was in the 8th inning to try to get a hold to get the ball to their closer. But SALTALAMACCHIA wasn't having any of that, and that was the game-winning home run. And how about that dugout? Man, did they go home happy last night.
It is a long list of big home runs this year for the Tigers, all the way back to early in the season against Jose Fernandez in Miami.
Right.
The slam that he hit in Pittsburgh off your favorite guy, Archimedes Caminero.
AC.
Here's the 2-2 now.
That first name just rolls off your lips way too easy, dude.
Give it a shot.
Archimedes.
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 There you go. Perfect.
Archimedes.
Yeah, no longer have to call him AC.
Archimedes Caminero.
There you go.
Better known as AC.
AC. You're sticking with it.
I'm sticking with AC.
Jacoby Jones waiting on deck. Will he get a shot? Here's the 3-2. Swinging a foul back by Salty.
All fastballs so far thrown by Renato to Saltalamacchia. Every last one of them anywhere from 91 to 94. And most of them have been inside.
White Sox lead 3-0. 2-run shot by Frazier in the top of the inning. RBI ground out by Eaton scored the 3rd run.
I mean, those of you at home, you can take a look at the little graphic that we put up, the Fox tracks, and you can kind of see where most of the pitches are thrown to batters in any one game. And you can kind of think ahead to maybe their next at bat and maybe, you know, do a little first guessing yourself at the house.
And he wanted ball 4. Let's put 2 men on now and bring up Jacoby Jones for his first major league at bat. Well, if you're going to take your first big league at bat, you might as well do it with a couple of guys on.
Why not?
243 this year with Toledo. He started the year at AA, had a really good season there. And so Jones will take a deep breath. And he'll step in there now with 2 on and 2 out. And right now the family is in tears. What a special moment. Jones fouls it back out of play. 0-1.
Had a real nice conversation with Jacoby in the clubhouse today, and he was talking about he obviously made those first calls to mom and dad, and when we were talking in the clubhouse, he said his mom and dad had already landed. Some other family was coming to town from Mississippi as well. Also had a nice talk with Lloyd McClendon, and Lloyd McClendon said this guy Mario has a lot of talent. I mean, a lot of talent.
Bouncing ball right back to the mound and speared by Renato. That'll get him out of the inning. Tigers get a double and a walk in strand 2. All right, Mick, thanks. Boy, Josh Tomlin, man, he's been on. He's hit some hard times. He has not pitched well for the Indians.
He was 9-1, I believe, at one time, and should have made the All-Star team, but obviously there's not room for everybody.
One gone, and they ground out to second base. Here are the standings in the Central, 4.5. The spread between Cleveland and Detroit. KC hanging around, 5.5 back.
KC still getting it done. KC has played some outstanding baseball. We've talked about Alex Gordon, their left fielder. He has been hitting a lot of home runs. But you know who really helped that team out when they came off the disabled list? Lorenzo Cain. He is a difference maker.
They've been able to play without a couple of key members. Of course, Moustakas gone for most of the year. Wade Davis has been on the DL, although he's scheduled to come back soon.
Hochevar as well, one of their real nice relief pieces, also landing on the disabled list again.
Jose Abreu waits on a 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Norris would like a quick inning. He threw 48 pitches to get through the first 2. That's fouled back out of play, 2-1.
That's where you have to throw Abreu. You have to throw him up. You have to throw him in. You have to throw your best fastballs at him. He's an outstanding breaking ball hitter, just like Miguel Cabrera. You see where that fastball is. It's pretty much up and in. That's the area where he does not do very well.
High strike, 2-2. Abreu fly to center in his first at bat.
There's another fastball into the zone where they think that Abreu does not do very well. You see where it says 273 and 284. Those are balls that are inside to the right-handed batter Abreu. One a tick above the belt buckle, one a little bit higher. You can see those are some of his lower batting averages this year.
Fouled away. What I find interesting is that strike, that high strike over the heart of the plate, he's very cold, but if you get it up away from him, all of a sudden the average jumps to 370.
That's because the arms extend. That's why you've got to tie up the big physical strong guys like an Abreu and some other guys in the big leagues. You don't want them to extend their arms, because when they do damage.
That's in the air to right field. Fairly deep playable though for JD. And there are 2 gone. Well, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. 2 up, 2 down now as Justin Morneau stands in. Single run scored in the second for Morneau. Swing and a miss.
He had his mind made up when he walked out of the dugout that he was going to get a first pitch fastball and he was going to swing no matter what. That ball was over his head.
It was a good 2 inches above the plate. More than that. Little chopper foul down the first base line. 0-2 on Morneau.
He had 2 strikes on Morneau's first time up today. He threw him a breaking ball, and that didn't do very much, and he singled to left field. You don't want to make that same mistake here after you've gotten ahead of him. Make a pitch.
Way outside. Well, he's up to 60 now as we play here in the 3rd. The 1-2. Morneau thought about it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. What a career he had with the Minnesota Twins. Won an MVP in 2006. Then a couple of years later, very nearly won another one. He finished second to Dustin Pedroia in 08. Frazier waiting on deck. Fouled back. You'd roll into the Metrodome in those days, 05, 06, 07, 08, and you had Morneau, you had Mauer. They were waiting for you. Torrey Hunter.
The M&M boys.
They did some damage in that old ballpark, which no longer exists. And he got him. Strike 3. Morneau called out of there by Angel Hernandez. 1-2-3 inning for Daniel Norris. That strikeout, his second of the ball game.
And I am standing in section 117 right now, which not only is great foul ball territory, but it's also a front row seat for this guy, Joe Minch, longtime Tiger season ticket holder. Tell me what you like about this seat in particular right here.
Thank you, Justin. The big thing is not only the front row, but you get a lot of foul balls. Some come in hot, and you hope it bounces off somebody before you get it. Some are just rolling up to you. And the view is great. The only problem might be is Omar's real good, but sometimes you get a visiting first base coach that goes out of the box and he blocks your view of the plate, so you know, give you a reason to yell at him.
All right, 34 years for you as a Tigers season ticket holder. Give me your best memory of an experience you had at a ball game.
Okay, my favorite one is about 8 years ago, and I was on the left field side in the front row, and a ball came at me. I mean, I was talking to my wife, and they yelled, ball, ball, I pick it up. And by the time I stand up, Bobby Higginson's face is right in mine. So I said to Higgy, that was a fair ball, huh? He goes, oh yeah. And I'm like 30 years older than that guy. And he says, don't worry about it, kid. I wouldn't have got the guy at second anyways. So then they sent an usher around, and they kicked me out. But in my mind, it was a great, great thing, Justin. Caught a fair ball. I don't know how many people that fair ball on the field while the game was in play, and I end up with a 1,000 fielding percentage.
Yeah, I was gonna say, good on you, a Gold Glover as well. Joe, we appreciate the time. And Mario, how about the lid? How about the Michigan State lid on Joe here? He's also got the Spartan football jersey on under his old school Al Kaline Tigers jersey. Yeah. That's a look Mario can get down with right there.
Thank you, Justin.
Joe, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Justin, thanks. Tell Joe I want to shake his hand after the game, man. That's good work. Great hat, great shirt.
Well,
and a great spot in the ballpark, too. And Joe didn't seem to be afraid of the fact that some of those balls come in hot.
No, he didn't.
As he said.
He was proud of it. I could rock that hat now.
Yeah, and you'd look good in it.
That hat was sporty.
Kinsler skies one in the air to left field. Melky Cabrera not even moving. Makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down here in the third for the Tigers. And that'll bring up Tyler Collins. So Renato gave up a double and a walk in the second, was able to pitch out of that. And now in search of a 1-2-3 third. Collins batting in the 2 slot. Tigers still waiting on the results of the MRI on Cameron Maben's thumb. The MRI was taken today, just waiting on the Tiger team doctor to read the results. There's a ball high to Collins.
It didn't look good last night when he took off on that 3-1 pitch, and then he slid into second base head first. And Saladino, the second baseman, basically took that left knee and buried it right on top of the left thumb of Cam Maben. And boy, was he in a lot of pain.
Well, you can't say that Maben's not a gamer. He was out there less than 100% and still performing well. Here's the 1-1. 2-1 now on Collins. Tyler hit one right back to the mound his first time up. He came on to replace Maben when he was taken out of the game last night. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Infield playing to pull on Collins. They give up the entire third base line against him. Here's the 2-2. And he got him. Strike three. Collins knew it. And that'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Ronaldo. No runs, no hits, nobody left. His first strikeout of the ball game. Top of the fourth inning, Todd Frazier will lead things off. He homered back in the second to give the White Sox the lead. We also welcome in Craig Monroe from the studio tonight, holding down things in the call Sam. That ball is down the right field line. Miggy will give it a chase, but it's back out of play. And Simo, what have you seen out of Norris tonight? His pitch count was up early, and then they got him for 3 in the second. Yeah, the 2-run shot by Frazier. Also a double later in the inning by Saladino.
Well, one of the reasons why the Tigers have had so much success against Frazier is the fact that they make him hit the ball the opposite way, and he's just not comfortable. And when you make him hit the ball to right field, all of his power, I mean literally all of his power, is to the pull field.
1 ball and 1 strike. And we've seen some really uncomfortable swings this year from Frazier against Tigers pitching. Two and two.
"12 hits the opposite way for Frazier, and 33 up the middle, 55 to left. So you increase your chances greatly when you're able to make pitches away from him and make him hit the ball to right field.
Now Norris has gone 3 and 2 on Frazier. Garcia waiting on deck. He's out in front of that one down the left field line. Upton coming over, may have room, and Jay Up has the ball carry him into the seats.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Simo. Frazier is the guy right now that's batting .215, and the reason why the average is low is because he does not use the entire field. As a matter of fact, in this situation, if you're going to throw a strike here and try to get a strikeout or some weak contact, the best way to do it might just be throwing a breaking ball or a changeup. That might get you a strikeout. Fastball he might put in play.
Three and two, the count stays on Frazier. Meanwhile, the pitch count continues to elevate on Norris. He's up to 70 now, and you keep in mind that we told you he was able to get into the 7th inning in his last start. And he threw 93 pitches in that game. That ball hit in the air to right. Circling is J.D. Martinez. One gone.
This is exactly what I'm talking about regarding Frazier. 33 home runs, most of those to the pull field, but when you throw him something away, you get him out in front, and look how far his arms get away from the body, and there's no bat speed whatsoever in that particular swing because most of his body motion and all of his power is out on the front side, therefore harmless. And I mean harmless fly ball to right field. Good pitch by Norris.
Here is AVISAIL Garcia, who bounced out his first time up to Jacoby Jones down at third. And Garcia looks at a strike right at the belt, 0-1.
You know, Mario Simo, you know what I've noticed about Norris, and I don't know if we have a count of that yet because we did not alert to our people early in the game, but he tends to give up lots of foul balls. They foul a lot of pitches off when Norris is on the mound, and that's why that pitch count is up to 73 already.
Why do you guys think that is?
Already 17 of the 74 thrown by Daniel tonight have been fouled off by Chicago White Sox batters.
Now Garcia waiting on a 1-2. Sharply hit ground ball right by Iglesias to shortstop into center field, and Garcia is on with 1 out. It'll be a base hit for Avi Garcia. See, well, what do you got in the shortstop position right now? Iglesias obviously getting the call tonight. They've had Ibar, and honestly, Eric's played some pretty good baseball. How do you think Brad will handle that position going forward? That's down the left field line. It's going to get down. Fair ball. Go to the corner. Upton will dig it up. Garcia coming to third base. He'll stop there, and pulling in with a double is Narvaez. And now second and third for the White Sox.
And we talked about this a little earlier in the contest, if you weren't with us, the fact that Norris has a difficult time of getting left-handers out. Here is a fastball, cut fastball that is right down the middle end. That's a real nice swing by Narvaez.
And Garcia can really run. He got to third base easily. That'll set things up now for the number 9 hitter, Saladino, who doubled in the second. Ball 1.
Tigers already down by 3. And with 1 out, have the defense relaxed up the middle on the corner. They're pinching Saladino. Anything hit at Jones or Miggy, they'll come home if Garcia takes off. But anything toward shortstop and second base, they're going to get another run.
Here's the 1-0, and it's hit in the air towards center field, shallow. Here comes JD on the run. He'll make the catch, and the runners will hold. Nice running play by JD Martinez.
Question for you, Simo. If you're Garcia on third base, and as hard as JD Martinez was running for that ball, I mean really running, would it have been real hard for him to stop on a dime and make an accurate throw to throw Garcia out? So we may have caught a little bit of a break there.
Well, one more hurdle to jump, and that'll be Adam Eaton, who in the ball game has an RBI plus a walk, and he tried to drop down a bunt.
That makes sense to you, Mario, because as aggressively as he was running JD, it wasn't shallow at all, but it took him about 4 or 5 steps to really stop and gather himself before he would have had to throw the ball home.
So does Garcia have to go back and tag up on that play immediately?
Absolutely. If he sees he's going to catch it.
The 0-1 is high, 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's all part of just base running instincts. I mean, most guys
Right.
would have done exactly what Garcia did there, to be perfectly honest with you. Ball hit that shallow, you know you're not going to tag up usually. But a really good base runner, they read that aggression by Martinez and possibly would have forced the issue.
Ball high to Eaton, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Nothing wrong with Daniel's stuff. I mean, fastball anywhere to 90 to 95. He's got a nice curve, nice slider, nice change. And just not real efficient in the strike throwing yet.
And because of that, the pitch count is up to 81, now 82. And he's gone 3-1 on Eaton. Tim Anderson waiting on deck. Second and third, 2 out. We're in the 4th inning, 3-0 Chicago. Inside, lost him, ball 4. He's going to load the bases. Third walk now for the left-hander. FGM Grand Detroit brings you the scouting report on Tim Anderson. Most multi-hit games in his first 68 career games. He's got 24 of them. And he joins a list that includes a guy named Rip, Smead, and Zeke. All of those household names. Meanwhile, the Tigers get on the phone now. And the bullpen will start to work. Anderson, a strikeout and a ground out back to the mound. Fouled out of play, 0-1. Bouncer right to the shortstop, and that'll get him out of the inning to retire the side. So crisis averted here in the 4th inning. Simo, thanks, buddy. We'll see you on postgame. All right, White Sox still lead 3-0, middle of the 4th. Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period, Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. Nice night here in the Motor City. Unfortunately, the Tigers have some work to do now. They're down 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Cabrera, Martinez, Martinez. Facing the right-hander, Ronaldo, who got the Tigers 1, 2, 3 in the third.
This is the trio that can get it going. They've been outstanding all year against White Sox pitching.
And Cabrera looks at a strike, 0-1.
Nice little get-me-over breaking ball there from Ronaldo.
Miggy bounced out to the shortstop his first time. He's 0 for 1. One ball, one strike.
If he throws him that same breaking ball that he got strike one with, the Tigers will get on the board here. It'll be 3-1.
Only one hit so far for the Tigers, double by Martinez in his last at bat. A little bouncer hit to the third baseman, Frazier. And Miguel is 0 for 2, one gone. 5 in a row retired by the right-hander, Ronaldo. We'll bring up Victor Martinez. Vimart flying to center field. He flying to deep right center field. And Martinez now is 0 for 1, 302 on the season, 23 home runs. Mentioning the damage he's done this year against the White Sox, 394 versus Chicago pitching this year. And he'll take a strike, 0-1. Upper reaches of the strike zone against Victor. There's the shift. We've been accustomed to seeing this all season long. One. Left-hand batters this year came in at just 213 against the right-hander Ronaldo. Ball high, 2-1. Ronaldo played his college ball at LSU, an outstanding program. He's a third-team All-American there. In fact, Jacoby Jones went to LSU as well. Here's the 2-1. 2-2 on Victor. And he got him, strike 3. Boy, you don't see Martinez strike out looking very often. 2 gone.
It's a changeup in a 2-2 count, and it just froze Victor. And Victor was looking for a fastball. He had the fastball spin, but the velocity at 85 was about 10 miles differential from most of his fastballs he's thrown tonight. It's a good pitch for Ronaldo.
Here is JD, who doubled but did not score back in the second. Hammered to right, slicing, headed to the corner. And a souvenir.
And we told you earlier in the game that Ronaldo would throw that curveball. And it's a big curveball about 38% of the time. So it's a pretty good bet you're going to get one at some point in time during each of your at-bats here tonight.
Martinez remains red hot. He sits safely now in 18 of his last 20. And he'll look at a ball high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ronaldo in the minor leagues, as you look at his pitch count at 50 now, is highly decorated. Twice was the pitcher of the year in the Reds organization, in the Red Sox, I should say. He was pitcher of the year at AA, then AAA the following year, then was traded to Texas, and now on to Chicago. 1-2. Driven to right field, again slicing, and it's going to be foul. JD took a shot at that right field corner. One and two. And on his hands that time, and he bounced it off his foot. Ooh, maybe his knee instead, huh?
Ouch. There's a lot of pain. Kevin Rand's going to come out. Head athletic trainer.
I mean, really, Ron, there's only so much protection you could possibly use. You'll see ankle guards, you'll see instep guards, you'll see shin guards. But I mean, there's only so much you could put on your legs.
Back in the day, the trainers used to come out. Remember that cold spray?
Ethyl chloride.
And they used to spray it on your leg when you got hit like that.
Did it help?
It did help.
But then it wore off, though, right?
It did wear off, but it did help for the moment.
Yeah, there's a pretty good look at where that ball hit, and that's why Martinez is shaken up right now.
And Kevin Rand and the rest of his staff, they do a marvelous job. And that would be Doug Teeter and also Matt Rankin.
Well, you know he's not coming out of the game, and JD's going to continue here. One and two on Martinez. Now, will something like that stay with you the rest of the night? Does it subside?
You forget about it pretty much when you're in the heat of the battle. Like if he hits a ball down the line, I mean, he'll forget about that and run. When he's in the outfield, he'll forget about it. But when you're sitting on the bench, you'll think about it a little bit because it's painful.
2 balls and 2 strikes. There is Upton waiting on deck. Just off the plate, and the count fills now 3-2. Martinez to this point has the only Tigers hit, the double in the second. They got him out there with 1 out, but couldn't score him. Lifted to right again and slicing out of play again.
That's a nice spoil there by JD. May have been ball 4, but at the same time, you've got to guard against anything that could possibly be called a strike by Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire tonight.
Well, even though it's been painful, it's a 9-pitch at bat, number 9 coming up.
And he seems to be the only one that's getting a real good look at Renato.
And he watched a breaking ball sail outside. He's got himself a walk.
Last night, if you guys missed this, Justin Upton in the 6th inning got himself a breaking ball that kind of landed right in his happy zone against James Shields, who's given up a lot of home runs lately. And you will not see a ball get out of the yard any quicker than this ball got out of the yard for Justin Upton. Take a look at how fast it got out. It got out in about 3.19 seconds.
Oh, he pulverized it.
Oh, that's a quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Upton can make it 3-2 quickly here. He'll spin one up there, but it missed.
Here it is one more time. I cannot remember a ball getting out of the ballpark any quicker than that this season.
Renato ready with the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss.
Looked like he was trying to hit another one of those.
The next for Renato will be his 60th of the night. His pitch count much better shape than Tiger starter Daniel Norris, who already has thrown 85. Checked it low. They want the appeal. Didn't go. Will Little down at first base. 2-1. Upton now is hit safely in 7 of 9. And should he continue this pace into the month of September, the Tigers certainly will benefit from that. Now the 2-1. Try to hold up, went around. 2-2.
Not that Justin needs to, but when he's going the way that he has been going for the last 8-9 days, he could put the team on his back and carry them through a couple of games.
Yeah, that has been his MO. In fact, those that watched him play on a daily basis would tell us when he came to Detroit, he can really go into stretches and streaks where he will carry a ball club. Foul back, had a good rip there.
At some point in time, you know you're going to get that breaking ball from Renato, but with 2 strikes, you cannot look for it. It has to be in the back of your mind. You're looking for the fastball. You're looking for the ball out of his hand. And you simply have to make the adjustment to the breaking ball. There's absolutely no way you can look for something off speed and still catch up to a 92-mile-per-hour fastball.
Fouled away another. Hey, the Tigers host the Orioles on September 11th at 1:10 p.m. It's Sunday Kids Day, and all kids 14 and under receive a free Justin Upton hat. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER. Buy with no fees at the Comerica Park box office or visit tigers.com.
Yeah, that last pitch to Upton was a breaking ball at 85 miles an hour, and he fouled it straight back. What did Torrey Hunter used to call breaking balls? His blessing.
Yeah, blessing.
That's my blessing. Breaking balls. I'm hanging breaking balls.
They'd go a long way, wouldn't it? And again, the 2-2. Swinging a drive in the air to left center field. It's going to be playable, though, as Eaton goes to the edge of the track to haul it in. No runs. They get a walk and leave him in. 4 in the books. And Upton knew it. Just didn't quite get that one. All right, Mick, thank you. Boy, that is a slugfest to be sure in Cleveland tonight.
Absolutely no quit in that Cleveland Indians squad.
A big part of the reason why they're in that race, or leading the race. Rajai Davis has had a nice year for them. Big 3-run homer tonight. There's a bouncing ball foul down the third base line. In the American League, things look like this. The Tigers right now are trailing Baltimore for the final wild card by just 1. You see a couple of teams, Houston, KC, Seattle still in. Still battling. That is sliced foul back out of play. Cabrera, Abreu, and Morneau here in the 5th inning for Chicago. They lead 3-0. Three runs on 5 hits for the White Sox. No runs, 1 hit for the Tigers. Pulled foul right back toward the on-deck circle. The count stays 0-2 on Melky Cabrera.
Not a bad breaking ball there thrown by Norris. It was just 76 miles an hour. And so you got the fastball that's gotten all the way up to 95, and then you've gone as low as 76 with that slow breaking ball. And he's thrown a lot of pitches in between that velocity, of course.
Norris missing high, 1-2. Daniel has walked 3 in this game. He has fanned a pair. And yet another foul ball. We've talked about this all night, but they just continue to foul pitches back in the seats. And now the pitch count continues to shoot upward. 91 for Norris. Chopper, third base side for Jacoby Jones. 1 gone.
Here's our high-speed pitch, and it is brought to you by Xfinity. And top fastball tonight for Daniel Norris. He's gotten all the way up to 96 and a low of 75 with a curveball.
Here is Jose Abreu. He's held him in check so far tonight. Couple of fly balls, 1 to center, 1 to right. And Abreu looks at ball 1.
Abreu laid off that fastball there, but that's where they've been pitching him the last couple of nights.
Abreu's been on base in all 25 games this August. He really has started to turn things around. You were talking about this a little bit last night, Rod, but his son Dariel has joined him from his native Cuba. They found him a visa, his son that is, and he is able now to spend some time with his dad, who has brought him into the clubhouse and has kind of showed him off to his teammates.
Well, it's always a fun time for the dads when they have the boys that they can bring to the ballpark. Kind of hang out with them all day long, because really, other than that, you don't see them that much, because the guys get to the ballpark every day at about 1 p.m. They don't leave until 11 o'clock every single night. Most of the younger kids or sleep. So it's a wonderful time for the dads to get a chance to bond with their children by bringing them to the ballpark. And the kids just love it.
Here's the 2-1. Driven to right field. That's going to be a fair ball down the line. Martinez over to cut it off, and he'll hold him to a single.
I talked about Abreu last night and some of the comparisons that Miguel and Cabrera and he are alike. Here's a fastball, and it's down, and he just simply lets it travel deep enough, really not trying to do a lot of damage, but he wants to hit it the opposite way. As a matter of fact, we've got a Bill Tire pitch by pitch right here that we're going to show you. Here is the sequence. You always want to crowd him in first and foremost, because that's a troublesome area for him. You don't want to miss right there, because that's very, very dangerous. But take a look at Abreu. He knows he's going to get another fastball, but he just takes a really nice, easy swing and takes a single the other way.
Rich Doobie out there to have a quick chat with Norris. Let's check in now with Justin White. J-Dub.
Hey, Mario, last Monday was an off day for the White Sox, but Justin Morneau, who's stepping into the box right now, still spent his night at the ballpark. Only he was at the home of the White Sox crosstown rivals, the Chicago Cubs. You see, Pearl Jam was playing a concert at Wrigley Field, and Morneau is good friends with Pearl Jam lead singer Eddie Vedder. So of course MORNEAU had great seats right next to the stage and got to go backstage after the concert. Their friendship extends to the baseball field as well when MORNEAU is playing. Last September, when MORNEAU was with the Rockies and they visited Seattle, Eddie Vedder was in the stands with a sign with Justin Morneau's name on it. So a mutual admiration society between the DH for the White Sox and the lead singer for Pearl Jam.
Hey, I want to go backstage with Pearl Jam. What's up with that?
Me too.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, J-Doug.
There's always a really nice relationship between guys in bands, actors, and the ball players. And they just seem to get along very well.
I think the ball players want to be musicians, and the musicians want to be ball players.
That's right.
The 1-1 is out. No, it's on the outside corner. 1-2. You know, Jack White is always up at the booth here, and he's made several trips to the Tigers locker room as Bruce Rondon warms up.
Jeff Daniels is a huge, huge Tigers fan. J.K. Simmons as well.
J.K. Simmons, the fine actor.
Right.
Big Tigers fan. Here's the 1-2. Morneau swings and strikes out.
We even got a picture with Paul Simon up here last year.
You know, you're right. I forgot about that. Boy, you talk about big time.
Right.
Paul Simon.
He came to see you.
He did. Right. Here are the numbers by inning now for Norris, and even 100 pitches. I will never forget that. Paul Simon and Jack White are just kind of hanging out here in the press box area, and Jack White says, "Hey, I want you to meet my friend Paul." It's like he's some guy that he went to school with or something.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I said, "You're Paul Simon." "Yes, I am," he said. 2 outs now for Frazier. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Frazier hit a 2-run shot in the second. He is 1 for 2. Frazier's home run was his 33rd. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Frazier joining the White Sox this year. It's spent about 5 years over in the National League with Cincinnati, where he hit a ton of home runs. He's on pace this year to hit 40 of them. Foul back, 1-2.
And Frazier went from playing his home games in Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark, which yields a lot of home runs, to U.S. Cellular, and that also gives up a lot of home runs in the American League. So he's played in a couple of really good ballparks to hit home runs in, and he has taken advantage of it.
One and 2 on Todd Frazier. Abreu at first base with 2 outs. 3-0 Chicago. Bouncing ball to third, foul.
And let's take a look at the big boy, big play of the game. It was the last time that Frazier was up. It was in the second inning. He got himself a fastball that they could not get away. It leaked back over the plate, and Frazier did with it, and that he had done 32 times prior to that big fly. He circled the pillows.
Norris ready with the 1-2. Here it is. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Frazier is out of there. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for them now for Daniel Norris. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Baseball, what do you got on Tim Tebow? He worked out in front of Major League scouts today at USC. Do you think he's got a shot?
Well, it's tough, man. I mean, he hasn't played since high school, and there's a lot of guys that have played high school baseball. It's going to be difficult for Tim Tebow. That's all I got to say. A
difference in hitting in the cage and then on the field. Christian Yelich, 16th home run of the season tonight against the Mets, and Brian Dozier against the Indians tonight, doing some damage.
It's funny how I did that real nice and had that nice conversation with Ian Kinsler yesterday at the second base position, and I asked him, who are the guys that you admire now watching play the second base position? And he gave me a couple of names. He said Jose Altuve, of course, and because of the way he plays the game, but he says he also really admires watching Brian Dozier play second base too. That's what Ian told me yesterday. Yes. Says he plays in the same division. He takes away base hits. He plays aggressively, hard-nosed. He really likes Dozier.
It's a great question because I'm sure there are some second basemen in the league that say Ian Kinsler is the guy they like to see play.
Oh, for sure.
2-1 on SALTALAMACCHIA as we get things started here in the bottom of the fifth. That's high, and the count goes 3-1. It'll be Salty, then Jacoby Jones, and Jose Iglesias. Renato gave up a walk, no damage in the fourth. He retired 7 in the last 8 he has faced, and that is hooked foul to right field.
Tigers have not been able to figure him out. He's only given up 1 hit, and that was to JD Martinez back in the second inning.
A little baffling when you look at some of the numbers that Renato has put up. ERA north of 10 here in the month of August, and he's just walked the leadoff man. SALTALAMACCHIA is aboard.
That's the second time he's walked Salty today.
Leadoff man on. We check in now with Justin White, who's hanging out with Jacoby Jones' family.
That's right, Mario. I am here with Jacoby's dad, Bubba, and his mom, Mary, and they are here in Detroit for the first time, watching their son make his major league debut. Mary, Jacoby got the call last night. Then he called you guys. Tell me what that call was like.
Oh, it was a complete shock. We was just laid down for bed. It was about 10:30, and he called and says, "Mom, what you doing?" I says, "Well, I just laid down, son, and I got to get up at 2 o'clock, feed the puppies, and because they're a week and a half old." And he says, "Okay, well, put Dad on the phone. Put him on speakerphone." I said, "Well, okay." And he told us that he got the call. So we just immediately started crying. And, then we asked questions after that, So exciting. He told us that he's going to be flying out in the morning to Detroit at 11 o'clock. And I said, okay, well, we'll see you there in the morning then. So the flights was a little hard trying to.
Oh, there's a pop-up. So now you can breathe, Mom. I know you're a little nervous right now. You talked about getting here. You guys had about a 2-hour drive from your home to New Orleans. Then you flew here to Detroit. You came right to the ballpark, and actually the first time that you saw Jacoby, when was that?
Oh, gosh. I wasn't expecting to end up seeing him. I was wanting to, and they told us you can go down there and see him. And they took us down there, and we got to see him and talk to him and hug him and kind of calm all of our nerves down a little bit. So he was very excited about it, so we was very pleased. It's been a very emotional 16 hours for us, to say the least. We've been expecting this for, we were anticipating, in his lifetime that he would end up doing this, but it's just one of those you just never know.
Yeah. How much are you looking forward to seeing him after the game and giving him a big hug?
Oh gosh, I just can't wait. I cannot wait to end up hearing everything, went on. And I asked him, I said, how did you sleep last night? And he said, believe it or not, Mom, I slept pretty good. I said, well, that's good. I didn't figure you'd sleep in it because we didn't. But yeah, I just can't wait to get to be able to end up hearing everything and experience all of these, what all he did whenever he got to the field the first time today. So very, very proud of him.
We appreciate the time. Congratulations. I know it's a big day for you and your family, and enjoy the time with your son after the game tonight. Thank you very much, Mary. Guys, back upstairs to you.
All right, Justin, thank you. And those stories, Rod, never get old, do they?
Well, you know, moms and dads, I mean, from the time he was in Little League, I mean, driving him to the Little League practices, then to Pony League and Colt League or high school, and you just name it. I mean, you want so badly for them to realize their dreams, and when they're able to do so, you see proud parents like Mary and Bubba.
Iglesias pops it up, back a second. Saladino goes back there to make the play, and there are 2 gone. And that'll bring up Ian Kinsler now.
I mean, not only them, Mario, but your Little League coaches and your high school coaches and your college coaches and all the guys that you've played with in your hometown. I mean, it's such a thrill, not only for the immediate family, but the extended family of the people that I just mentioned.
Well, as you mentioned, Mary and Bubba certainly have had a major say in Jacoby getting here. But you're right. I mean, there are Little League coaches, high school coaches, college coaches. So many people along the way that have had a part in getting the young man to the big leagues.
I'm sure all of his former Pittsburgh Pirates teammates that he played with in the minor leagues are rooting for him tonight.
Kinsler batting with 2 outs, and he looks at a strike 0-1.
Those trades now the Tigers were able to execute at the trade deadline last year are looking fabulous now. I mean, 3/5 of your rotation with the kids, Fulmer, Norris, and Boyd. Now you have Jones up here as well. And you also have Justin Wilson, who came from the Yankees for the Sessa kid, who they got in the price in the Cespedes deal as well.
Yeah, you know, it was painful at the time, and we understood how the reaction of Tigers fans was one of disappointment, and certainly you and I were disappointed as well. The Tigers had to go that route as you look at Michael Fulmer, but you know, you got to take a long-term view of the organization and of the team, and certainly it looks like the Tigers did the right thing.
I mean, 2/5 of their 25-man roster as we speak are as a result of what happened last year at the trade deadline.
Ball high to Kinsler, 1-2.
1/5, excuse me.
Kinsler with a pop-up and a flyout. 3-0, Chicago in the lead. We're in the 5th. Here's the 1-2. Pulled foul back toward the dugout.
Dang, Iglesias just whistled one over there to Castellanos and Maben, and now Maben and Castellanos had enough. I'm out of here.
They've scattered.
They've all scattered.
Not Norris. Now Renato again to the pause. Another foul by Kinsler. Ian had a couple of walks in the ball game last night, trying to keep it going here in the 5th. Tigers have not been able to do much. They've had a couple of walks. Salty has walked twice. They've had a double by JD, and by and large, that's about it. Subject to change. And another foul as Kinsler continues to battle.
Even though there has not been a lot of base runners tonight against Renato, his pitch count is getting up there. He's at 83 now.
This turned into a lengthy at bat for Ian. Kinsler skies one in the air to left field. That ball is hit well, and it is gone. Ian Kinsler, a 2-run shot, and the Tigers are right back in it. Number 24 for Kinsler. Well, you gotta love the ones that come with 2 outs.
Well, you knew sooner or later somebody was going to catch up to that breaking ball that Renato had been featuring all night long, and Ian Kinsler just happened to catch up to it.
RBIs 67 and 68. It's a 3-2 ball game. Collins fouls it back out of play.
What was it, a 9-pitch, 10-pitch at bat?
was a 7-pitch at bat.
7-pitch at bat.
And Kinsler hits number 24. That ball driven to right field, but it's going to hook. And it had home run distance.
Here's the Kinsler swing. A really nice, short, compact swing. Not a whole lot of aggression, not a whole lot of moving parts for Ian Kinsler. And he connects and connects perfectly with the slightly uppercut swing.
Again, the 0-2. Ground ball back up the middle. Anderson diving play, not going to have a play though. It's an infield hit. Oh, and it keeps the inning going for Cabrera.
Anderson's got a lot of range at the shortstop position. He's able to leave the feet and able to make the play, but could not get up and threw from his backside, but couldn't get anything on the throw. Infield single for Tyler.
Don Cooper making a trip out to the mound here in the 5th. Well, he's gotten Cabrera a couple of times on the ground. He'll have to deal with him again. Tigers have the tying run on now with 2 outs. Two-out, 2-run shot by Kinsler. Here's Cabrera. He and all smiles. Another big home run season. That was 24. 4th time he's hit 20 or more in a campaign. And Miguel lines at the left field, base hit. Collins will go to second, and the Tigers have 2 men on.
And 3rd time through the batting order, Tigers have figured out something that Renato had been doing prior, which allowed him to have success. But now it's the Tigers that are putting some good swings on him. Mickey looking for that first pitch fastball, whistles that ball to left field for a solid single. Here's where Victor Martinez, if you overshift on him in this particular situation, he will try to beat the defense. He will try to hit something the opposite way. It's not that he might not pull the ball, but he'll at least take one swipe at trying to hit the ball where there's a lot of room on that left side of the playing diamond right now.
Frazier pretty much at a shortstop position. And a drive that is yanked foul.
What's going on with Renato? First time, second time, third time through the lineup. Oh, you ask and you shall receive. No wonder why they've gotten to him, partner.
Is that good?
That's real good. 188, 179, then 429. The damage given up by Renato, 3rd time through.
Matt Albers warming up. And rather quickly, 0-1 on Victor. Missed it outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, the numbers holding true to form here as the Tigers get to him. The 3rd time through. Vmart, a strikeout and a flyout. Here's the 1-1. Popped up foul, back out of play. 1-2 on Victor.
So far, the pitches that have been thrown to Victor in this pitch sequence all up in the strike zone.
Tigers have beaten the White Sox 8 of the last 9 in this ballpark, and they are fighting back from a 3-0 deficit in this one. Thanks to Kinsler's 2-run shot. Tigers suddenly have 4 hits on the board. Margot steps off. Popped up. Third base side on the charge there is Frazier. That'll end the inning. However, Tigers have shown some life here in the fifth. Ian Kinsler. Hanging breaking ball now deposited into the seats. And it's a 3-2 ball game. Ian Kinsler's homer has brought the Tigers back, and we have a wall side windows pitching change. Here's Bruce Rondon.
Rondon has started to pitch some really good baseball, and Brad has started to trust him more and more in really close games. A blazing fastball that gets up to 100 miles an hour. Also a really good slider for Rondon. Those are primarily the two pitches that he throws. He also has a changeup, but doesn't throw it very often. 30 strikeouts for Bruce, and he's only walked 6 batters so far this season.
18 strikeouts in his last 11 2/3. He will go to work now against the bottom 3 of the White Sox. It'll be Garcia, Narvaez, and Saladino.
The opposing batters, they tend to swing early and often when Rondon is on the mound because you want to hit that first pitch fastball. You don't want him to get ahead of you where he goes to that slider, and then he's able to expand the strike zone to get you to chase something.
Swing and a miss. Put a wrinkle in there on the first one to Garcia. Norris throws 105 pitches to get through 5 innings. That is a season high for Daniel. The pitch count, that is. The 0-1. Stayed away again, and the count goes 1-1 on Garcia. Single ground out tonight for the former Tiger. Swing and a miss.
Garcia is looking for that fastball in the upper 90s, and Rondon
hasn't got one yet.
Has pulled the string on him on 3 consecutive pitches. Now he doesn't know what he's going to get. You throw a fastball right by him now.
It'll bounce in outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Avi Garcia. Waiting on deck, Narvaez the catcher, and then Saladino. White Sox got all 3 of theirs in the second. 3-run homer, or 2-run homer by Frazier, and then an RBI ground out by Eaton to make it 3-0. Check swing roller toward third base. Jones on the run. Garcia's out of there, 1 gone. You don't miss out on your chance to see the 2016 Michigan Sports Hall of Fame induction Friday, September 9th. Be there as sports legends Derek Jeter, Ben Wallace, Brendan Shanahan, and more are officially welcomed to the 2016 class. For tickets or more information, please visit mshof.org or call 313-576-5111.
A nice class being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Very heady class. Here's Narvaez. Fastball high at 97 from Bruce.
Meanwhile, Jacoby Jones has done a nice job over at third base. He is not a third baseman by trade. He grew up playing shortstop. As a matter of fact, last year, the entire year, in 2 stops, both of those stops in Double-A with Pittsburgh, and also Double-A with the Tigers. He only played third base, but he told me today in the clubhouse that when he went to the Arizona Fall League, and that he started to play some third base last year. And of course, this year, he's played a lot of center field. So he's been all over. He's a great athlete.
Well, if you want to play center field here at Comerica, you got to be able to run with all the room.
And he said today that he loves center field. As a matter of fact, that's his favorite position. We know Cam can roam center field with the best of them.
Still waiting on word on Maben's MRI results, but obviously not able to play tonight. We'll see how long he's going to be out. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to third. There's Jones again. And another routine play, 2 gone.
You know, something else the Tigers did in regarding Jacoby Jones, Mara, is the fact they called him up before September, which means that if Cam doesn't quite get healthy, Jones has played some center field, and he could be added to the playoff roster should all those stars align.
Yeah, you really have to consider a lot of different things, and you've got to be on a roster by the end of August to be eligible to be on a postseason roster.
It's one of the reasons why they called him up, because they needed that roster spot, obviously, and they sent Boyd down to the minor leagues. Technically sent him down to the minor leagues, but there's a chance that Boyd can still make his next start.
Rosters expand at the beginning of September, which is right literally around the corner. Strike 1 on Saladino.
Jacoby Jones also told me that for 2 straight years he played in the Cape Cod, which is a great league for college players. Probably the best league for college players. Said he played center field every single day for 2 years in winter ball. In summer ball, excuse me, Cape Cod.
0-2. Well, you got to be a pretty good athlete to play shortstop on a professional field, third base, and also center field. And he's played left. Versatility never hurts.
You know what that means when you play that many positions?
What does it mean?
You can hit.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
Yep, you're right.
You can hit, buddy. And they're going to find a spot for you. Originally a 3rd round draft choice of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
0-2 on Saladino as Rondon looks for a 1-2-3-6 3-2 ball game. Tigers down by a run tonight. Did he go? Negative.
Good call by Will Little. He did not go.
Double and a fly ball tonight for Saladino, who had a couple of hits and 3 RBIs in the opener last night. Here's the 1-2. Popped up. See if it stays in play. Saltalamacchia does not have room. Back in the dugout. We got a Bruce Rondon, Rod. Here's a guy that we figured would be pitching late in ball games. Has had his stretches this year where he's looked really good, but coming out in the 6th inning in this one here tonight.
I think he's ready to take that next step. I think the leadership skills of Francisco Rodriguez in that bullpen, not only for Rondon, but for several guys in that bullpen. Shane Green has talked about the impact that Rodriguez has had on him. I think Rodriguez has been huge for him in basically getting him in that right frame of mind to do his job on a nightly basis.
Well, he did his job tonight. A 1-2-3 sixth inning, picks up his first strikeout of the evening. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth. JD Martinez will get it started for the Tigers. Sixth inning here at Comerica Park in game 2 in the series. Other scores that are impacting the playoff races. The Jays and Orioles are tied at 3. Tigers are Blue Jays fans tonight. The Orioles 1 game ahead of the Tigers for the final wild card position. And Martinez fouls it back out of play as we get things going in the bottom of the 6th. There you have it. Tigers 1 game behind Baltimore. Houston hanging around. So is KC.
Yeah, a lot of cities, a lot of hope still. Detroit, Houston, Kansas City, Seattle. And how about the Yankees?
And the Yankees leading KC tonight. They are not going away, although it's going to be tough for them to jump as many teams as they have to. But once they got rid of all their bullpen pieces and called the young guys up, many thought, well, that's it.
Yeah, but those young guys came to play. You know who else is playing some pretty good baseball for the Yankees?
Who?
The former Minnesota Twin, Aaron Hicks.
Oh, he is.
He's doing a nice job for them. He could not hit when he was playing for Minnesota, but he's done a better job playing for the Yankees.
Sometimes a change of scenery can do that for you.
It sure helped this young man right here, JD Martinez. He got released from the Houston Astros, and the Tigers picked him up and sent him to AAA. He stayed there for 17 days, and he tore up in the International League, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Here's the 1-2, and it's lifted back out of play. I think he hit, what, 700 home runs in those 17 days.
He forced his way onto the big league team that year.
Yeah, they had to take a look at him, and all of a sudden JD becomes a huge part of the middle of the Tigers lineup. And he has not let up since getting to the big leagues. Ball inside, 2-2 on Martinez.
The one thing I have noticed about Renato here tonight, when he has gone inside, he has not missed over the heart of the plate. He's either missed 3 or 4 inches off the plate, or he's missed way up and off the plate. And about time for JD Martinez to get another one of those curveballs from Renato. Got to make sure it's up in the strike zone. There's Shane Green. He talked about, we were talking about this last half inning regarding Rondon, how much Frankie Rodriguez has meant to him and his preparation of coming out of the bullpen this year.
2-2, the count stays on JD Martinez. So Renato now is about to throw his 100th. Was staked to a 3-0 lead. The Tigers got him for a 2-run shot by Kinsler in the 5th. Pulled to left field down the line. It's a fair ball. It'll go to the corner. JD is on his way to second. It'll be another double for Martinez.
How in the world did, one, he barrel that up, and two, keep it fair? That ball looked like it was a couple of inches off the plate. Renato's trying to look at a replay because he cannot think of how he was able to hit this ball. Take a look at it. It's an 89-mile-per-hour two-seam fastball, but look at JD lead with the bat knob, and the bat head kind of lags. Look at it right there. And then he just pulls it through there, and he's able to keep that ball fair. Unbelievable swing there by JD.
It's his second double of the night. Now the tying run is in scoring position. It's also the end of the night for Renato. Wallside Windows pitching change. We'll be back to Comerica.
Have to have a solid foundation from the waist down, but take a look at the bat knob. We talk about the bat knob leading. Look at the bat knob. You don't see the bat head yet. All of a sudden, he pulls the hands close to the body, and that forces the barrel of the bat to get over the heart of the plate to create the angle for that to be a fair ball. Now, here's the same look from the side. Take a look at how he just forces those hands to get close. He knows it's not going to be a homer. He knows it might be called a strike, and somehow he's got to try to hit it. Man, what a beautiful piece of hitting by JD Martinez. With Mario, it doesn't happen unless you got good, strong foundation.
Well, JD just continues to roll. 2 more doubles in this ball game, and now Matt Albers has come on for Chicago.
Well, he's got a 5.66 ERA. He's been in 54 contests already. He does have 13 holds, 27 strikeouts, 18 base on balls for Matt Albers.
Way outside to Upton. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He's considered a slinger while on the mound, not really a high 3/4 arm slot. It's more of a sidearm, a slinging motion as to how he gets the ball to home plate.
55th game for Albers.
He's got all 4 pitches. He's got a fastball, he's got a slider, he's got curve, and a changeup.
In there, a strike call, says Angel Hernandez. 1-2.
Upton still has a job to do, even though he's got 2 strikes on him. He's got to try to get JD Martinez over to third base or drive him in, one of the 2.
Way outside again. Narvaez almost had that one go by him. White Sox bullpen has been pretty good of late, despite the fact the Tigers got to them last night. Their ERA is 2.86 over the last 20.
That's the same kind of start they got off to at the beginning of the season, when it was looking like they were going to be in the central race all year. They got off to a great start.
Yeah, they sure did. The month of April, their ERA was sub 2 that month.
Right. It's all about pitching.
Upton shoots one back up the middle into center field. Base hit. JD rounding third. He'll come around to score. Upton gets it done. It's a 3-3 game.
Man, the 2 at-bats by JD Martinez followed up by a tremendous at-bat by Justin Upton on a fastball that is crowding him inside. That's a 2-seam fastball that's just chasing Jay up inside, and Jay up pulls his hands in nicely, and he gets just enough of this one to scoot it through the middle of the diamond for a base hit and an RBI. Man, oh man, what a pretty swing there.
Well, better late than never. The Tigers offense coming alive in the last 2 innings. Now here is SALTALAMACCHIA. A couple of walks and a run scored for SALTALAMACCHIA. Got to keep an eye on Upton. He has 9 steals this year and 11 tries. Infield playing to pull on Salty. And Albert is missing outside. 1-0. Tigers now have eaten up the hit totals at 6. SALTALAMACCHIA has had a couple of really good at-bats tonight. Both of them against starter Renato, both resulting in walks. Diving inside, 2-0.
And SALTALAMACCHIA should get himself a really good fastball to hit here. It might be a 2-seam fastball, anywhere from 89 to 92 miles an hour. He's looking down at Dave Clark going through signs, but the only sign Salty's going to get is that hit sign right now.
Three-0. There is Jacoby Jones waiting on deck.
If SALTALAMACCHIA is swinging here, he needs to make sure it's the one pitch that he's looking for, and only one pitch.
He's taking, and it's a strike. Barely. 3-1. Seemed to be a little bit off the plate, but Albert's got the benefit of the call there. Runner goes, and it's a ball outside. SALTALAMACCHIA gets a walk, and that'll put 2 men on with nobody out. So here is Jacoby Jones. Mom and Dad looking on.
It's usually the dads that are struggling watching the game. Moms are just chilling. I've done my part. He's in the movies now.
That's right. You take over.
Right.
Well, this will be the second time that Jones has come up with 2 men on. In his first big league at bat, he grounded back to the mound.
Don't know quite how much bunting Jones has done in the minor leagues, but Abreu at first base is anticipating a bunt from Jacoby Jones. And my guess is he's hit the middle of the order down in the minor leagues his entire life, and maybe he doesn't bunt that often.
He's showing bunt, and he looks at a ball outside. Bunted foul, and it'll go right back for the Chicago dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Check out the reaction of mom and dad here. That's on the fake point right there. False alarm.
Oh, the reaction of the parents.
It's beautiful. Nice job by Albers too, throwing that ball up in the strike zone, trying to get him to bunt in the air.
The 1-1. No sign of bunt there, and it's in for a strike. 1-2 on Jones. For 2 in his major league debut tonight, starting at third base for the Tigers. They sent down Casey McGee before the game today. Breaking ball, line to right field, gonna get down, a base hit. It'll go to the corner. 1 run scores. Saltalamacchia will get the third. It's a double, and the first major league hit for Jacoby Jones.
I see you, Mary.
Best feeling ever. His first major league hit gives the Tigers the lead. Can't draw it up better than that.
You really can't. That is awfully special.
Four, 3 Tigers. RBI double by Jacoby Jones. And the tears are flowing in the seats.
Well, here's the 1-800 call, Sam. Call of the game. He fell behind 1 ball, 2 strikes, and he takes that little breaking ball. Look at the concentration. And he just slices it down the right field line for a double. And you can see why people rave about him. Or look how fast he gets out of the batter's box on his way to second base. That would have been a triple for the young man had first base not been occupied by Saltalamacchia.
Well, he was picking him up and laying him down. Here's the reacts. That's a fair ball. That's his first big league hit. There's a strike called on Iglesias.
That never gets old, as you said.
No, it really doesn't. And when it puts your team in the lead, it's that much more special. RBI double for Jones. First major league hit and RBI. Iglesias waiting on the 0-1. He's 0 for 2. Infield coming in halfway. Ball down low.
Iglesias does not strike out very often. As a matter of fact, he is the toughest to strike out in the American League. So there will be some contact here.
There was still nobody out in this inning. Double, single, walk, double. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Albers took over for the starter Renato, who gave up the double to start the inning. But Albers has not been the answer. Single, walk, and a double. Low and away. Now the count goes to 3-1.
Just a nice look at Iglesias really watching that ball into the catcher's glove. I mean, he is really, that ball leaves and he's tracking it all the way into the glove, making sure he doesn't leave the strike zone.
Bouncing ball left side, leaping play by the shortstop Anderson. His throw is in time, and he saved a run there. A whale of a play by Tim Anderson.
When you think about it, he had to leave his feet and jump up, and then he had to look at Saltalamacchia to make sure he stayed there. And then when you added the fact, Mario, that Iglesias has good speed, he had to really throw a clothesline across the diamond to get the out.
That'll be it for Albers, as well as Robin Ventura comes out to make another pitching change. So for the time being, the Tigers lead by a run. They have runners at second and third, and we'll be back. Sox an early lead with a 2-run homer in the second. Kinsler, though, had a 2-run shot, and Jacoby Jones RBI double here in the sixth. First major league hit, first major league RBI, and it's given the Tigers the lead. Back to the bullpen go the White Sox. They've got the former Tiger on now, Jacob Turner. Ian Kinsler will stand in with runners at second and third. Infield still halfway. Tigers trying to pad their lead here as Turner spins one up there for ball one.
And Jacob Turner has a fastball that will get all the way up to 95 miles an hour. He also has a slider. He loves his curveball. He throws that 17% of the time along with his changeup. And not afraid to throw the changeup to the righties or the lefties. And former #1 draft choice.
A little bit outside, 2 balls and no strikes. 2009 was when Jacob Turner was drafted by the Tigers out of the St. Louis, Missouri area.
He was part of the Miguel Cabrera deal, wasn't he?
No, I think he was Sanchez.
Sanchez deal, okay. He and Infante.
Right. There's a check swing strike.
Had the right team.
Right.
The wrong player.
Turner, I remember, Rod, was very highly thought of. He got to the big leagues, but the Tigers felt that maybe he had reached his ceiling, and they moved him and got Sanchez. That is line fair to left field. 1 run scores. Here comes Jacoby Jones. He will score. Kinsler with a 2-run single. And the Tigers tack on 2 more.
Ian Kinsler putting them goggles on.
And Jones came flying around third base.
Didn't he though? I mean, flying.
It is fun to watch him run.
That youth. And Ian got himself another breaking ball. We told you Turner really loves his breaking ball. He kind of short armed that swing and it right off the glove. Right off the glove of Frazier.
That close to making a play. 6-3 Tigers, still only 1 out. Here's a drive to right field, base hit. Kinsler hits the bag at second, going to third. Here's Garcia's throw to third base, not in time.
Did you see him put Garcia to sleep? Ian Kinsler slowed down once he got around second base. He was trying to deceive Garcia into the fact that he was going to stop, and then he just turned up the Jets.
Great baseball play by Kinsler.
Take a look at this. Watch him when he gets around. He's going to slow down. I'm not going. Okay, here I'm going now.
And Garcia's got a good cannon, too.
What a beautiful thing there.
So the Tigers now have runners at first and third. They lead 6-3, and here is Miguel Cabrera. Tigers have a 4-run inning as Miggy lines one to shallow right field. Garcia will make the play, and he'll fire it home. Kinsler holding at third base. 2 gone.
Yeah, here's one more look at Ian Kinsler and his hustle on this particular play. Here's the hustle. SALTALAMACCHIA comes home. Jones, he scampers home. Now here's the Collins base hit, and Kinsler looking at him out of the corner of his eye. And he baits him, and then he takes off at third.
So 2 outs here is Victor Martinez. 9 men come to the plate in this inning. The Tigers have turned a deficit into a 3-run lead. Victor is 0 for 3. Driven to center field, and there is Adam Eaton to make the play and retire the side. However, big inning for the Tigers. Jacoby Jones gets his first major league hit. First major league RBI. And Mom Mary and Dad Bubba celebrate. That's my boy right there.
That's right.
That's my boy. Jones has settled into big league life quite nicely here tonight. His first major league hit and RBI. The Tigers have taken the lead. And what a night it's been for the rookie third baseman and the Jones family as well. Now the Tigers go to the bullpen trying to protect this lead. Shane Green has come on out of the Tigers pen. Adam Eaton leads it off and looks at ball one.
And good numbers for Green. And that ERA continues to inch its way down. It's at 5.24 now, but in the last month or so, he's pitched some really good baseball. 45 strikeouts, only 17 walks out of the Tiger bullpen this year. Started the season in the rotation.
Ironically, Ron, those blister problems might have turned out to be the best thing for him.
Yeah, it's kind of looking that way. He's kind of found his niche out there.
Here's the 1-1. Hammered to right field. That'll get down, a base hit. Martinez over to cut it off. He's going to try for two. Boy, that is a hustle double there for the leadoff man, Eaton.
When you are able to get a double like that, when a guy like JD Martinez is able to close the gap and make a real nice play and make a really good firm throw to second base, you are thinking two out of the batter's box. And look at Eaton. That's exactly what he did. Never slowed down. We've got some good base running going on in this game.
Yep, good point. We do. Here is Tim Anderson. 20th double of the year now for the leadoff man, Eaton. And the 7th hit of the night for Chicago. 6-3, Tigers have the lead. There's a strike on the outer edge to Anderson. Bounced into a force in the 4th inning to end that inning, and the White Sox had a chance to add a few more to their lead. There's a drive to left field. That's going to drop, base hit. Here comes Eaton rounding third. They're going to stop him.
Oh.
Meanwhile, going to second is Anderson standing up.
Ill-advised throw there home and by J-Up. That ball's got to go to second base. You've got to keep the double play in order. And a nice read by Anderson, the base runner. And when you're running down the line, if you're Anderson, you watch to see if the left fielder, when he throws the ball in, if he misses the cutoff man or not. And once the ball left J-Up's hand, Anderson could see that it was going to be over the cutoff man's head, so he just continued to go to second base.
Single, he'll take second on the throw, and now the White Sox trying to come right back here. 2 on, nobody out. They got the middle of their lineup coming up. It'll be Melky Cabrera, who is 0 for 3. Here's the bouncing ball to the right side, fielded by Kinsler. It'll get a run in. Eaton comes around to score. It's an RBI for Cabrera, and it's 6-4. Hey, join the fight to end childhood cancer on September the 9th. The Tigers face the Orioles at 7:10 p.m. Special ticket packages, which include a T-shirt and a donation to pediatric cancer research and services, are available exclusively at tigers.com/children. Tigers and O's. One away now. Here is Abreu in a 2-run game. Ball 1. That ground ball not only scored the run, but it got Anderson to third. And now Abreu trying to cash him in. Big swing there. Abreu shoots one foul right behind Anderson down the line.
You know, when you're running down the line and you're the base runner, if you're Anderson, one of the things that you want to do is you want to make sure you stay in foul territory, because if the ball hits you off the bat of the batter, it's a foul ball. But if you happen to be in fair territory and that ball hits you, then you're going to be out. So you have to take your secondary lead while you're off in the foul territory.
That is popped up and headed back to the seats out of play on top of the dugout roof. Abreu has a single in this game, 1 for 3. He's at 60% with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. Major league average about 51%. Swing and a miss, and Abreu is retired. Boy, that's a big out there for Shane Green.
What a pitch by Green. Everything for the most part was hard stuff. And the fastball and the cutter, they get to 90 to 94. Then he pulls the string with a really nice slow breaking ball to disrupt the timing. And he had Abreu out in front, and he swung right over the top of him. It's a beautiful pitch by Shane.
6 strikeouts now for Tigers pitching tonight. Here is Justin Morneau. Fouled back 0-1. Morneau had a single, scored on the Frazier home run in the first. Otherwise, he's punched out a couple of times. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Another one of those slow breaking balls at 83 miles an hour thrown by Green.
Rondon had a 1-2-3-6, then Shane Green here in the 7th. Ooh, just missed. Up and in to Morneau. Pretty much DHing exclusively here with Chicago. Had elbow surgery in the offseason. Spent the first part of the year rehabbing from that. Swing and a miss. Morneau is out of there, and that is it for Chicago. They get 1 run back and leave a man. Coming up, the McLaren Health Plan 7th inning stretch. Gordon Chevrolet, man, you want to be here at the ballpark tomorrow, or you want to catch us on TV, either or. Verlander and Sale tomorrow.
Well, both of these guys right now, as we speak, are very much in the Cy Young race in the American League. So tomorrow will not disappoint.
We'll be lighting up the radar gun tomorrow.
And both guys are fierce competitors.
Here come the Tigers now. JD Martinez will lead off the bottom of the 7th like he did the bottom of the 6th.
He has had a couple of really good at-bats, both of those resulting in doubles.
Now JD with 2 more doubles tonight. He's also walked. And the first one is in for a strike right at the knees, 0-1. Got some changes now for Chicago. Avi Garcia moves from right to left. J.B. Shuck is now the center fielder. And Eaton stays in the game, and he'll play right. Pounded back out of play, 0-2. That means Melky Cabrera is out of the game. Shuck will bat in his spot, which is the 3-hole in the lineup. 0-2 on Martinez. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Justin Upton on deck, and then Saltalamaccchia. Driven deep to left. And that ball is going to go. It's out of here, a home run. 3rd hit of the night for JD Martinez, and this one is a homer. Well, he better stop dropping gold because he's on fire.
Oh, my goodness.
That's his 3rd extra base hit of the night. The Tigers get that run back at 7-4.
Another breaking ball thrown by Turner. This one stayed inside. JD Martinez recognized it very early. He got the front foot set. He still had tremendous bat speed coming through the strike zone to connect for the 19th time this year.
Here's a ground ball short. Anderson bobbles, stays with it, and he throws it away. Into the Cabrera dugout and send Upton to second. Anderson might have had time had he made a good strong throw, but he just sailed on it. Jay up at second base.
Well, if you're Anderson, once you bobble the ball, once you bobble it, you know you've got to rush your throw. You might be better off just eating it with Jay up running down the line.
So here is Saltalamaccchia. Bouncing ball right side. Saladino will throw him out, but that advances the runner to 3rd. 3 really, make it 4 really good at bats tonight from Salty. Now Jacoby Jones. See what the young man has for an encore. After doubling in his first run as a big leaguer. Infield coming in now for Chicago. It'll back him out of there 1-0. Ausmus said before the game today that while Casey McGee played a splendid 3rd base up here, they needed a little bit more offense from that position, so they called up Jacoby in hopes that he could provide that. Bouncing ball, base hit right field. That'll get another run in. Against the drawn-in infield, it's another hit and another RBI for Jacoby Jones.
And drawn in infield, most hitters love to come up in these situations. It's a two-seam fastball sinker, bottom of the strike zone. And Jacoby hits it right past the diving Saladino. Is it that easy, Jacoby?
Mom and Dad having a ball tonight.
Oh, they've been high-fiving left and right down there tonight.
Strike one on Iglesias. Iggy trying to join the party. He's 0 for 3. Tigers now have 11 hits. They've extended the lead to 4, 8-4. Ball one. Albers came on in relief in the 6th. Turner took over, gave up a 2-run single to Kinsler. He's given up a homer and an RBI hit here in the 7th as well. So the bullpen has not been a force tonight for the White Sox. Jones down in the minor leagues, stole quite a few bases, as many as 25 one year. Jacoby this year had 13 steals in the minors.
And Lloyd McClendon told me that Jacoby Jones has a tremendous amount of talent, and there are times on the baseball field that he will simply wow you with some of the things that he does, whether it be his power and whether it be running the bases, whether it be showing his range in center field or the infield, or the very good throwing arm that he has. He can do it all.
Chopper left side of the infield. Frazier to second one. Relay is in time. A double play.
Hey, what an aggressive slide by Jones.
He came to play tonight.
Didn't he, though?
Tigers had a couple more runs. JD a homer. Jones an RBI single. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. Tigers baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Andrew Romine has come on to play third base, so the night is over for Jacoby Jones. And he will celebrate in grand style tonight. A couple of hits, a couple of RBIs. Frazier leading it off here in the 8th. It's Frazier, Garcia, Narvaez. And when Ben's in for a strike, 1-1, Shane Green allowed 1 run in the 7th. Back to work here in the 8th. Tigers trying to get back to 10 over the 500 mark. They came in at 70 and 61. Popped up foul. This will head back into the seats.
And Tigers bullpen did an outstanding job in last night's game after Boyd left after 4 innings. That Wilson had to come on. And then you had Justin Wilson. He had to come on as well. Rodriguez had to finish off the game. So real nice job by Tigers bullpen last night. And they're doing it again here tonight.
Grounded toward third. Romine, it found him, as he normally does. He comes into a game defensively. The first ball hit right at him.
It really doesn't matter whether he's playing right field, center field, third base. Romine makes all the plays. Brad really trusts Romine in his glove.
Here is Garcia. Single in the 4th inning of this game for AVISAIL Garcia. Green struck out a couple of batters in the 7th. Tigers pitching tonight with 7 strikeouts, total of 7 for the staff. Green works it home, and it's a ball low to Garcia. Tigers have 11 hits in this one, although the offense woke up a little bit tardy tonight. Doesn't matter. They were held scoreless through 4 innings. Here's a big swing there by Garcia. Garcia is still only 25 years of age.
Still got time.
He does. I mean, is there a point, though, when you've had a certain amount of big league at-bats where you show that this is probably what you're going to be?
Well, maybe he's not a starting player, but he can most definitely be a role player. He can be a 4th or a 5th outfielder.
Bouncing ball to short for Iglesias. Garcia made it close.
The White Sox are giving him every opportunity to show that he's an everyday big league player in the starting lineup. But if he doesn't show that, he has enough physical skills, Mario, that he can land on somebody's 25-man roster and really contribute 2, 3, 4 times a week if that's the role he ends up playing. It's up to him.
And the other part of that is, if we were to look at JD Martinez's career, we might have said, you know what, he's had enough big league at-bats to say this is what he's going to be.
Right. And then all of a sudden he retools his entire swing and changes his dedication and work ethic, and lo and behold, he's one of your better right fielders in baseball as far as the hitting is concerned. And he played really nice defensively too, did JD Martinez.
Narvaez with a walk and a double. One ball, one strike.
Every team that is in the wild card chase right now that are slightly above the Tigers or right behind the Tigers are winning. Houston winning their game. Kansas City is trailing in their game to the Yankees. But Cleveland also winning in their particular game. Baltimore Orioles also winning. But you can't worry about them. You still got to handle your own business.
No. Win your own games. The rest will take care of itself. Orioles won, so the Tigers, for the time being, game and a half out. They'll be a game back if they hold on to this lead. It'll bust inside and low. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Narvaez. There's your final from Oriole Park. The O's beat the Jays 5-3.
What are your thoughts on the American League East? Do you have a favorite or a team that you think that might just come out of the East between those 3, Boston, Toronto, and Baltimore?
I like Toronto.
I do too.
Little chopper slowly towards second. Funny hop. Kinsler made a nice play, and that'll end the inning. 1-2-3-8 for Shane Green. By Comerica Bank, raise your expectations of what a bank could be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Another spectacular night here in downtown Detroit, and the Tigers have not disappointed. Their offense coming alive with 2 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. And they lead by 4 now as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Top of the order coming up, it'll be Kinsler, Collins, and Cabrera. And the first one is in for a strike. Ian got the Tigers going. They were down 3-0 and then hit a 2-out, 2-run homer in the 5th. And that suddenly gave the Tigers a jolt of life, and then they had that big 6th inning, which they scored 4 runs. Jacob Turner is still out there for the White Sox in relief. One, 2 on Kinsler.
Good to see Ian get back on track. Brad did give him that that day off. It was in Minnesota. Wasn't the final day in Minnesota, the second day?
Second day
in Minnesota. Gave him a day off. He was struggling with the bat, and since he's come back, he's played very well. It's amazing what one day off will do.
A 4 RBI night tonight for Kinsler. 1-2, the count stays on Ian. You know, you could also say, as you look at the action in the bullpen, Inoa warming up for Chicago, you can also say that this little turnaround here for Ian has coincided with the tutorial he did at second base with him.
Oh, that's right.
There's a ball low and away. I know you spent some time with Ian a couple of days ago.
We had a blast.
Learning the finer points of second base.
I've been meaning to do it for a while. I mean, he's one of the best second basemen in our sport. And, man, he gave me about 15, 20 minutes of just how he makes every single play in the infield. Every play.
Pretty cool stuff. Here's the 2-2, ripped foul down the third base line.
And he talked about this particular play right here. Now, this isn't the bare hand, but it's the play where he makes the play, but he's got the hands real down there, down close to the glove. So all he has to do is reach in and flip it across the diamond.
Lowered away, 3-2.
I think the first series of the conversation is going to air on Tigers Live on Friday.
Ooh, don't want to miss it.
And I think they're going to cut it up to about 3 different segments.
Nice. You youngsters that want to learn to play second base, Ian will teach you how.
This weekend, stay tuned.
This Rod goes one-on-one with Ian Kinsler. Dropping some knowledge on you, huh?
Yeah, he said he absolutely really hates that new slide rule because it took all the creativity out of the game for your shortstops and your second basemen. They don't really have to be as elusive as they had to be in the past, where they had to dodge the base runners coming in and sliding. Ian said that's a part of the game he absolutely loved.
Really?
Yes.
Which says a lot about his personality. A guy that grinds it out every day, comes to play, plays hard. This turned into a 10-pitch at bat for Kinsler, starting things off here in the 8th. Checked it, and he went around. Strike 3. Angel Hernandez called him out of there. 1 out here in the 8th. Friday, September 9th at 7:10 p.m. Tigers host the Orioles. First 10,000 fans receive a commemorative Justin Verlander 2000 strikeout figurine. Call 866-66 Tiger. You can buy with no fees at the Comerica Park box office or visit Tigers.com. One away for Tyler Collins. Ball 1 to Collins, who has a couple of singles in this game.
Talking to Collins in the clubhouse today, and I was asking him Which position do you prefer playing of the outfield positions? He said, man, I don't care. I just want to play. He says, I just want to play baseball. Put me anywhere.
I can see him saying it that way too, man. I don't care.
And he was dead serious.
2 balls, no strikes. That one is ripped foul down the first base line. By the way, who is your selection for player of the game tonight? Do you remember?
I took JD.
You took JD.
No, I took Victor.
You didn't take JD. Well, I want to remind folks that
the truck took JD.
I took Jacoby Jones.
Oh, you did take Jacoby Jones.
Didn't I? Yep.
He might just win it today.
You know what? I'm declaring myself the winner. I don't care what anybody else says.
You ought to, too. Rookie, all he's done here tonight.
First start, mom and dad crying in the seats.
Yeah.
Perfect night for Mr. Jones.
And more than likely, that's going to be Justin's interview after the game, too. What'd you think?
I would hope so.
Right.
It'll be a good one, too. Fouled away again by Collins. You tried to sneak a JD Martinez by me, man. Tigers have 11 hits in this one.
Your pick was a serious pick, though. I mean, rookie, major league debut.
Had to be nervous.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to take some chances.
It's a huge pick.
I know this. Jacoby Jones is not going to ever forget this night.
I saw him play a little bit out in the Arizona Fall League, too. And you can just see, man, the talent that everybody was talking about regarding Jones. I mean, 6'5", about 205, with great speed and arm strength and power. He's the total package.
You think he's replaying his at-bats in his mind right now? He's kind of taking this whole night in.
He really is. He really is.
Turner trying to dispose of Collins. And Tyler looks at a ball low. Now it's gone to 3-2. Mr. Cabrera waiting on deck. And he walked him.
Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. And Jones stepped up to the plate and got his first major league hit against Matt Albers. He sliced a double down the right field line. Mom Mary, Dad Bubba absolutely loved it, high-fiving one another in the stand. And even Jacoby pointing to his mom and dad. Thumbs up. And a couple of fist bumps to go along with it.
You're not kidding. Look at that smile. Awesome. Miggy had a rip and he fouled it straight back 0-1. For Cabrera tonight, a single and 4 at bats. Average at 309. Tigers need a win tonight to stay a game behind Baltimore, who beat Toronto. Fouled away again, and the count is 0-2. We were talking last half inning about that American League East and who I thought would win it. I think we both agree that Toronto is probably the best position to win it, I think, in that division. I'm just not sure Boston, with their great offense, has enough pitching.
No, they got Porcello, and Clay Buchholz has actually been pitching some pretty good baseball for Baltimore, but the knuckleballer has not pitched as well as he was pitching the first half of the season. That would be Steve Wright. Boston's got plenty of offense, but I think the better team all around is Toronto.
Sliced to right center, and on a slide, what a play there by Eaton. Throws back. Not in time as Collins gets back in there. Adam Eaton with a sliding play. I think he thought he had himself a double.
Adam Eaton has played an outstanding right field this year. For the most part this year, he's been a right fielder, but the first couple of days of this series, he started in center. Takes a little bit of a banana route there, but he's got good enough speed to make up for it, making the grab and then quickly getting up, trying to double up. And then Tyler Collins.
Two outs for Victor Martinez. White Sox, by the way, will have 1, 2, and 3, make it 9, 1, and 2 in the ninth inning. Saladino, Eaton, Anderson due up. Ball 1 to Victor.
We told you earlier in the game, if you weren't with us, that Victor, from a batting average standpoint on fastballs 94 and above, is one of the best in baseball. So if he's looking for that heater and Turner happens to give him another one in the mid-90s, more than likely, at least the data tells us Victor's going to get a good swing at it.
2-0.
Well, we'll find out right now, because here comes that 95-mile-per-hour fastball.
It's been a hitless night tonight for Victor. A couple of fly balls to center, a pop-up, and a strikeout.
Here it comes.
Rolled foul. 2-1. Turner came on in the 6th inning. He went through the 7th and now trying to get through the 8th. Giving Robin Ventura some multiple innings tonight. Tigers, meanwhile, have had Rondon and Shane Green out of the bullpen. In relief for the starter, Daniel Norris. Norris tonight surrendered 3 runs in 5 innings. Driven to right field. Eaton is there, and that is that for the Tigers. Let's go to the 9th. Pretty good play there by McAllister. The Tigers going to the bullpen again here in the 9th inning. Trying to finish it off is Justin Wilson.
Hey, Wilson's got a big arm. He's got a fastball that goes anywhere from 92 all the way up to 96 miles an hour. Pitched an outstanding inning in last night's contest, and hopefully he could do that the same here this evening. 58 strikeouts for Wilson, only 11 base on balls this year.
So Shane Green goes 2 innings, allowing 1 run. He'll hand the baseball off now to Justin Wilson. It'll be Tyler Saladino leading it off. One for 3 for Saladino. He had a double early in the game, did not score. Sox had a chance to pad their early 3-0 lead. They could not tack on, though, and the Tigers found their rhythm in the 5th, scoring 2, then 4 more in the 6th. 1 ball, 1 strike on Saladino. Verlander Sale tomorrow in the series finale. Low and away. Now the count goes 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. So 3-1 on Saladino. Wilson doesn't want to walk anybody here to start the 9th inning. Has a 4-run lead. And a bouncing ball up the middle. Iglesias to his left. 1 gone. Top of the order now, it'll be Anaheim. Eaton's had himself a good night. He has walked a couple of times. He has doubled. He has scored. He has knocked one in. But it has not been enough tonight for Chicago. Bouncing ball left side, and his night just got a little bit bigger. It's a base hit to left.
Eaton has gotten a lot of hits and right there in that direction against the Tigers this year and against everybody else.
Tim Anderson will step in, and the Tigers, just in case, have Frankie Rodriguez beginning to heat up.
And we told you earlier in the game that even though Anderson has really good speed, he is grounded into 11 double plays since making his major league debut in June.
Is it the way he gets out of the box?
Well, he hits the ball hard, for one. And two, because he hits the ball so hard and takes such an aggressive swing, he doesn't get out of the batter's box as quickly as most guys his size.
Ball 1 outside. Shuck due next, but Sanchez has moved to the on-deck circle. In there, a strike called, 1-1. Wilson replacing Shane Green, who threw 2 innings out of the bullpen tonight. Here's the 1-1. 2-1 the count. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Rolled foul. The count goes to 2-2. Big night for Jacoby Jones. First 2 major league hits and first 2 major league RBIs. Now Wilson with the 2-2. Bouncing ball back up the middle, might be 2. Kinsler to the bag, 1, and a double play to win it for the Tigers.
Ask and you shall receive. That is number 12 now that Anderson has hit into in his major league career.
8-4, Tigers with the win. Now we send you to the Call Sam Studios. Mickey York standing by with Tigers Live postgame.